Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, Unseen Strike of the Dawn War Stronghold. It has been a hot minute since I've been here casting. About 2 weeks, I'd say. Again, as all of you know, my editor bulks out these games, or I bulk record and send it to the editor, and he does his magic, and bing bang boom, bing bang boom, bing bang. Games get out to you. The last like 4 videos I've been eating. I apologize, that was when I was recording. Anyway, we have some good games today. Good games. Here we go. First up on the board, we have the Raccoon Man playing as the Orcs, and Ayaku playing as the Necrons. Ugh. Looks like these are what, the Bad Sons? Bad Moons? No, definitely the Bad Sons, I think. The Orcs color scheme. Let me just double check there's no spoilers. Hold on, hold your pants. Hold on. Put a new anti-spoiler picture up. Our Lord and Savior here, Solar Crusade Macarius, however you pronounce that. Of course, he gets done dirty, as most Warhammer Black Library books go. I won't spoil it. I do recommend the read. It's a trilogy. Pretty old now. Anyway, so we have our Necrons in the north here. Fata Morga, classic map, as always. Like I said at the start of this channel, you're going to see a lot of this map. This is a community favorite. Alright, we have our Orcs here on the south. Bad Sons? It's going to haunt me. It's going to haunt me the whole cast. Anyway, stinky Orcs here on the south of the pond. Seeing our standard build here. Boys Hut, generator cooking. Necrons on the other hand, let's count our generators as we do. 1, 2, 3. Curious, there's no Necron Lord in this queue. These Necron Warriors do take quite a bit of time to cook. 3 generators, pretty conservative. He could afford another. Wonder if he's gonna put a turret down of some sort. With the Orcs, I bet that's a good, safe play. Orcs capping up. Big Mac already quarter of the way done. Alright, as we've seen in the past, when we're dealing with Necrons, you want to put the pressure on early, get in there, smash some generators, get out of there, make sure nobody dies. Everybody comes home safe, don't let the Necron tech. We have our 5th gen on the way, still no Necron Lord. I'm a little worried for this Necron player. Orcs doing their thing, floating around, and Big Mac's coming out in a moment.
It now belongs to the Orcs.
That's what I like to hear.
Here to fix your coming.
Immediately uses that teleport. I don't always agree with this, as it wastes one of your precious charges. Shooter boys are coming. That's really where you want your Big Mac to be with shooters anyway. The slug is here, not super helpful. He's marching across. Let's see what he sees. Necron player, is he ready? 1 Necron warrior squad. A turret is done. He doesn't see this. Orc in range. Let's see the first Gauss Blast. Bzz, misses. Nope, it hit him. It was a little bit of a delay. About 100 hit points off the top there. He's still cooking. Sluggers beating down on an obelisk. Let's see here. Just another Necron Warrior squad. Curious in the Necron Lord. The northern flank of this Necron base is undefended. If the Orc player does catch wind of that, you're gonna just break an obelisk, which as a Necron player, it's not too big of a deal. You only really lose research and build time loss with the obelisks, and I believe PopCap. It's been a long time since I played them. I'm gonna get rid of the Fog of War while we search over here. Orc is just getting another wall banner, teching up, getting his eco cooking. He's not in any particular rush. I do like that. I also think the game's a tiny bit loud, but I think that's just me. Let me just lower my volume, just a hair. Anyway, it's been a hot minute since I've cast. I appreciate all comments and feedback and so on and so forth. We are nearing 100 subscribers. When I was last casting videos, we were at like 50. So you could say the channel is nearly doubled in size. Love all of you guys out there. Please comment, don't like, let me know. Give me some feedback on the channel. Things we could do different, game type matchups you want to see. The rarest game matchup that I'm still looking for to this day is a Dark Eldar versus Tau. I don't care who wins, I just want to see a nice battle. Here we go. Big Mech in here, decapping the Necron point with his shooters. Necron Lord is crawling out of the mud. Here he comes. Big Mech will beat him down. Just trying to keep these shooters at bay. Sluggers did pull back. That's smart. Preserve the Sluggers using the cap up. Get your eco going. More Wa Towers coming out for the Orcs. We need to keep an eye out now for a pile of guns. Summoning Core coming up to the Necrons. Necron players at 70 power. His gens are cooking. Big Mech killing, doing his thing. He will eat through all these Necron warriors unupgraded. The shooters are just shooting at scarabs. I don't really support this. Taking all these freed shots from the Gauss Flayers on the Necron warriors. But he did decap, which I guess is worth something. Second shooter squad rolls up, fully reinforced, getting a knob now. Sluggers getting into position, gonna flank in and eat these Necron warriors for breakfast if they can manage to stay on their feet. Necron warriors are pushing right behind the Necron Lord. Nice screening here by the Necron Lord, keeping the shooters at bay. Big Mech's just a little bit too fat back there to really try and get these Necron warriors on the edge. And all the while, our Necron player is in the back lines. More gens, getting his +1/+1 on his Necron warriors. Orc player forced in a big ol' retreat. Gets a knob on the Sluggers. I do like this. The knob is very scary. And just Orcs also just all over the map here, harassing plenty of Necron workers and scarabs. And I actually really like this Orc army. Quite heavy tier 1. He used the Wa Towers he built to get knobs on most of his squads. And now he's got quite a field army. Necron Lord's still pretty scary, even for a double shooter squad. But with the knobs in there, they're not such a pushover in melee. Another Necron warrior being reinforced. He did recall his forces at the south end of the lake. I guess you'd say that's the southwest, right? Southeast? Oh lord, it's been a while since I've used a compass. He did recall his squads on the far edge of the lake so they could come back and defend, which was smart. And now our Orc player is going to start consolidating his units in the middle land bridge. And actually, no, he's splitting off again to this left flank. Again, as with most Necrons, the win condition is to just keep teching. More gens, more tech. There's our pile of guns. He's getting more DACA, so he's going to have a nice DPS ranged increase. Big Mech and the Knob next. The Knob is almost larger than the Big Mech. The Big Mech is not the biggest Orc generally. He's usually not even the smartest Orc. Maybe clever. He has to convince a war boss that he can build them cool scrap buildings and such. I did like that feature in Dawn of War 3. Destroyed Orcs, structures and buildings and vehicles. You could have a squad, a worker squad, build Orc vehicles in the middle of the map. Really cool little feature. This shooter squad is super split up. Very rare you see stuff like that happen. And if I'm seeing this correctly, we have triple shooters here. A lot of big shooters. I don't know where my camera just went. Mouse is acting a little weird tonight. Triple shooter squads with that DACA upgrade. So our Orc player is staying committed to a heavy tier 1. 1-1 just came in for this Necron army. Because of all the Orc upgrades and units he got, his LPs are not that upgraded. Wa banners in the field going to get taken down by flayed ones. So it looks like we have a base race situation. Necrons are going to come in and take all this out for almost free. Solar Flare even stops building shooting. They're above the ground. They're not even close to the ground. How does that affect them? Necron shenanigans. Shooters coming in, not the greatest generator destroyers, but they'll do something. Flayed ones coming up out of the ground. Triple squads here to kind of kite and shoot if they so desire. If he could take a couple generators out, it's worth the loss of some Wa Towers and some listening posts. So let's see. He just rebuilt one Wa Tower here. Necrons still don't have enough to push the settlement. I mean, yeah, maybe they'll take this listening post. He's going to have to come back. He lost one generator. This listening post was decapped and recaptured by the Orcs. If he can capture these listening posts and the relic in the field and get some Wa Towers and a listening post here, he'll have a solid point to keep assaulting these Necrons. And look, with that knob, these shooters don't need to immediately run back into range. The knob is very scary. This Big Mech and Slug in here. I'm going to close this. We got a nice field battle going on in Tier 1. Very rare to see this these days. Shooters now have to start pulling back. Necron Lords here. We could definitely see a Solar Flare coming. Flayed ones on the retreat path. Love to see this. Big Mech is munching through these Necron Warriors. Even with 1-1, they are still no match for melee Orcs, if you will. He teleported out. He left an Orc dead there. His shooters survived mostly intact. The sluggers got beat up. Where are the sluggers? I'm too zoomed in now. Where did those sluggers go? They're right over here. They're actually still reinforcing. Necron Lord gets the phase artifact, so he can kind of stay there and keep an eye on this orc army. But when he comes out of phase, there's a lot of orc bullets. I'd like to see some orc friendly fire. They're all shooting at each other. Okay, Necron Lord jumps to the south side of the pond here, but he's got quite a large orc army. I'm going to switch to the orc perspective, as I'd like to see what his upgrades are looking like. And actually, we're going to jump back to the Necrons. If you saw, he's pop-capped. He does not have enough obelisks to support this army. That's going to be key in this game. And you can see the Necron's got his scarabs here. Maybe he'll put a cheeky turret down, cut off all these orc reinforcements. Eco check, 60 power for the Necrons, which is pretty low this late in the game. 74-10 for the orcs. That is not good. That's telling sign of how these fights have been going. This is a lot of field infantry for these Necrons, and the orcs again are forced to retreat. He's a little bit too deep, and this is quite a large horde of Necron Gauss Flayers. He needs to pick off some of these Flayed One squads again. Maybe if he can afford it, get one or two more upgrades. And that Solar Flare, that's down the cliff. How did they even get affected by that? Oh, Necron trickery. And this is the same fight we just saw. Orcs forced to retreat, taking quite a big heavy loss casualty list there. Big Mac actually teleports into base. He's going deep. Gonna take this Necron Gauss turret out, which is actually a nice pick. Is he gonna take it out, though? He bit off more than he could chew. Squeal, orcs, squeal. Filth. Xenos, filth. Orcs, still formidable field presence here. He needs to, he's pulling up his Gretchens here. He's going to get these listening posts, get his eco back up and cooking. Flayed Ones crawling back on all fours into the HQ to get redropped. Necrons on the defensive here. Orcs using their big shooters here, trying to shoot, and are they shooting at the Necron Lord? They're trying. Is he there? Is he not there? If a Necron Lord cloaks in the woods, is he actually there? The world will never know. Orc Eco is just very crippled. One LP upgraded. He needs to kind of get it. He gets another shooter squad. Interesting. I don't know if he can afford another Big Mac. I do not think he can. Scarab's getting lit up a little bit.
Victory countdown has begun.
I love that his name is Raccoon Man. Tanuki. Tanuki Man. Trash Panda. Tanuki. Anyway. This Necron Lord just has so much control, and we're going to see here the Necron is eventually going to outpace these orcs, just for the fact that the power is almost uninterrupted. When he feels ready to, he can basically just tech up. He's got his field army mostly intact. Yeah, he's got a deep strike here. These knobs do have power claws, so I'm pretty sure the orc is getting melee upgrades, which is pretty good investment. He's got 3 knobs out here. And look at that, with all these shooters now, these Flayed Ones get melted. They're quite expensive. He has 4 Flayed Ones. If the Necron Lord can get in the middle and Solar Flare, this fight turns immediately. Even this fully upgraded Flayed One squad, he could just lay into them with all these shooters, and look at how fast they melt. Knob hits the ground, shakes it off.
6 minutes until
And he is respecting the Necron Warrior blob. I think this is smart, but look at this. As soon as these shooters turn around, and they really start picking their targets, they get melted. So this is actually a really, really nice engagement from the orc player. Tanuki Man, you're doing it, brother. Akua should have brought these warriors back. That's a lot of firepower. A lot of Necrons just sitting there. One just fell over. And even without the Big Mech, that was a very convincing fight. He is teching up currently to tier 2. He has no army. This is the orc's time to shine. He's got to make it count here. Push in, maybe take a summoning core out. Take another obelisk out. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, he's destroying these very, very cheeky obelisks here. He's going to re-get his eco. What is his eco at? 74-10 still. It's been about 2 minutes since we did the last eco check. Needs eco desperately.
5 minutes.
Forbidden
until
Archive
phase
was
and hold
deleted.
victory.
Curious. I guess he bought the final upgrade. He bought the Scarabs, he has the Phase Shift, and he has Solar Flare. He can only buy 3 artifacts. Orcs are sieging down. Let's see the Solar Flare. He's waiting. I think he's just using his time here to regenerate with his Scarabs. And this is quite annoying for the Necron player. This is an artifact that lets you do this with your whole army, the cheeky bastards. And the Necron player is biding his time here, but look at this Orc Horde. Knobs on the field with a Knob leader. That's a very, very, very scary squad. One Wraith comes out. The only flaw here I see for this army is there's no real detection. But these Knobs don't care. These Knobs are going to rip through these puny Necrons real fast. And these Orcs, this army is very hard to knock over. I mean, look at these SHOOTAS. Look at the Knobs. Almost a full head taller than most of the smaller Orcs. And I think the Necron player throwing his army away there was very costly for him down on the fields. And I do really think him capping up the Necron, the Orc economy was really slick of him. But this Destroyer was too little too late. I don't know if enough Orcs were killed in the field battles. Destroyer won't do so well in melee. I know it is a vehicle. It's more of a ranged weapon platform. And look at how fast the HQ is falling now with all these SHOOTAS. All this precious Necron technology is getting smashed. Turret is trying its best. GG from a pew. This was a good game. I really liked all the Orc presence in the field. Again, we didn't see any quick teching really. Nice field battle over here. All the Necrons were here. They all phased out with the monolith kill. So GG from Tanuki Man. Nice map control. Just want to check. He did have 2 of these wreck point critical locations and the Necron relics, so that did save his eco from just falling on its face. He was starting to recap this. Yeah, even this, the Necron player even had his back capped. I mean, even if this was upgraded, this listening post, he would have been just swimming in eco. Very crippling to have all that eco loss. Impressive that he teched up to Knobs with just 10 power. So, very well played by Raccoon Man. Preserved his units really well. Let's check the score screen. And again, Solar Flare is just such a battlefield dominating ability. Every time you see it, you're just face palming like, oh, I walked into this? Research, military, 90 kills, 55 loss. That's pretty orky. It's pretty orky. 6k, almost 7k power gained, almost 8k spent. Very little power. He spent almost all that he made, which is good. Poor Necrons. They tried. They couldn't spend it fast enough. Anyway, that has been Unseen Strike. Godspeed, everybody, and I will see you on the next one, alright?